Welcome to the think tank. This evening, we have a very special guest. His name is Marc Kelly. Marc knows everything finance. He has taught it, he has spoken about it, given conferences about it. When I say everything finance, I mean everything finance. Today, he's going to share with us some information that he has on an investment. The investment is called Medium Coke. It's a coin. I wouldn't go much into detail. I'll let him tell us all about it. So introducing today, Marc Kelly. Welcome to the think tank. Today we are going to talk about Coke, Medium Coke. Tell me now, what is Medium Coke? That is so, that name, it rings a bell, but what is Medium Coke, Marc?
Coke Play started out as an infrastructure, a decentralized content platform infrastructure in Korea, in Seoul, Korea, to address some of the problems in the business world. And with that, along with that business infrastructure, they created a coin or a token, to be specific, that they were launching as a part of their program because they wanted to be able to have people be able to purchase all of their content, clothing, cars, shopping through their own system with their own coin. And so that's what they're doing, is they're creating an entire system, an eco structure of replacements for things like YouTube's, Google, Netflix, Facebook, etc.
Right.
And so Coke stands for Keystone of Opportunity and Knowledge.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, yeah, actually a company called Medium bought them out in or acquired them in April. So now it's known as Medium Coke. So that's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny. Well, it's synonymous with Coke itself, you know, so it's like a good play on words, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me now, how and why are you involved with Coke?
Well, I've been watching, I'm in finance, as you know, and so I've had to, I've had to figure out different types of investments and the return on investment I get over time. I used to do investment seminars, and I've owned a lot of investment companies through the past, teaching people this. And oftentimes I have to convert clients into lenders on many projects. So I have to constantly keep up with good returns on investment and so forth. And after COVID or Corona hit, a lot of the financing in my area, which is kind of hard money, private lending, so forth, was hit real hard. It was hit hard because we weren't protected on rent and mortgages, where everyone else that had a federal loan was.
Right.
And then two, with the problems with commercial real estate at that small period of time, people were making tons more money in the markets because our markets have been inflated artificially. So really they didn't have a reason to probably want to invest in real estate for 12 to 15% per annum. And I had one of my associates who used to be in Wall Street and had sent me a lot of business. I was watching him making a killing off of an investment. So I just asked about it because he posts about it on his Facebook page. And he was making, at the time, 7% per month. And 7% per month is fantastic.
Whoa.
In my business, 7% per year still makes people happy. So, you just kind of watch it for a while, and months go by, and I just had to ask what it was, and he introduced me to it. So that's really where I got into it, and why I got into it is it gives a fantastic return on investment. And then, of course, I learned more about the infrastructure and why I'd get into it if you want to know more about that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of curious when you and I spoke about it, and I'm still looking into it. Like I said, I mean, I'm not doing analysis by paralysis. It's just the time frame for me to do the things I need to do. So let me ask you now another question. What are the significant benefits of getting involved in Coke to you, in your estimation?
Well, any investment these days is a risk. More even holding our own currency could be a risk at some point through inflation, which people say isn't existing. But there's arguments of crypto, there's arguments of real estate, because real estate's skyrocketing, but it's a very fragile market in certain ways, and who knows how much they're going to hit us with property taxes. We're already starting to see it in certain states because they are going to fund their mismanagement and the loss of economy they've created by us taxpayers. That's what they do. I mean, they promise to go after the billionaires, but they don't. They go after us, and that's who they're going to continue to go after. And the assets is one of the best things to go after because everyone is buying assets in an inflationary market because assets increase while the dollar value decreases. So, you know, when I looked at this investment and saw it, I took it to the point where I evaluated big business opportunities. When we dealt with funding from 50 million to 1 billion, and we had to assess these businesses right up front, filter them before you even paid attention to them, was who the team is behind it, can they pull it off, and do they have liquidity, do they actually have money behind them, and they're not just going off somebody else's money, which is very important.
Right.
And then, you know, can the market bear it? Is there a demand for it? Will it be a disruptor? And it met all those. The team involved are very successful, very key technology players in the Seoul market. And this is more of an Asian market, really hasn't hit us here yet. And so they had a great team behind them. They had tons of money behind them and certain investors worth billions of dollars. And so that was fantastic. They put up a lot of their own money. That was fantastic. They and then, of course, if I ask somebody a simple question, if there was another YouTube, another Facebook out there that worked very well, and another Google out there, would you use them? And most people are screaming for, and we haven't had very good competition, but they're screaming for competition because they're very bothered by the monopolization and how those people have used that monopoly. And it's never even safe to have monopolies, period. And it's really what they have. So there's certainly a market for decentralized platforms because decentralized is going to make it harder for people to actually decide to kick you off and to censor you, and censorship can be an important thing to a lot of people these days. I personally would love to have other alternatives. So that's one of their systems. It's actually a decentralized content platform. They've got really Asian right now, nothing in the American markets. We're not their market at present, but you know, they've got movies, video games, online poker. You can even buy hotel rooms. And if you even and if I explain how much they've gone up in value, it would make you go crazy because they're about to launch their metaverse. And so they're going to have real estate sales through that. But you have, you know, they're selling cars. They've got advertisers there from big players from BMW and big name brands that, you know, would only advertise in the right type of company. So they've created a user membership database of a lot of people that have invested in this, and people invest as little as $300, and they still get great
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, the minimum investment was 300, right? Yeah.
$300. Yeah, it's well, it's better for them to have more users. We're coming into an era here, and hopefully it'll continue to where big businesses have to start realizing when data is becoming so valuable, might as well become a currency at some point here, that users are more important than shareholders. Because the user experience, the user's data, the user interface, users are the ones that are going to buy from you. So the users have become more and more important. And when they're selling to advertisers and when they're trying to have people purchase things through their system, the average consumer is a far better option for them.
Right.
Those people, and when you have a membership database of even 1 million people, you know, that database you can sell as advertising because those people are consumers. Those people are a direct target market for people that are buying products. So if that helps explain some.
Oh yes, it surely does. Surely does. Is there a cap on the investment? If 300 is the minimum, is there a cap on how much one can invest?
There's no cap. They used to. You know, it's funny. We kept on. I was telling people recently, and I've been in it since January.
Right.
And I never really pushed anybody into it or referred many people into it because I really wanted to see the money come in first because my reputation was on the line.
I remember you took a while before you called me on it.
Well, yeah, I just called you last month on it. Yeah, well, for a reason. And when I watched the money grow and when especially too when Medium bottom out, it was a game changer for me. But to go back to your question, what was your question again?
I asked, okay, the minimum and the maximum. I know the minimum.
Okay, yeah, the minimum is $300. There is no maximum. You used to be able to get a VIP advantage when you put in $100,000 and you got an extra 1%, which that's, you know, hey, that's still money.
Right.
When you used to put in over $10,000 as of just last month, When you
Mm-hmm.
put in $10,000, you would have got 7% per month. Now
Come
it's
on.
4.
Wow. Wow.
And under 10,000, you would have got 5%. Now it's 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then surprisingly, $300 to $14.99, you would have got 3, and now it's 4. So they actually got a bump up. Everyone else got
Okay.
a
Yeah.
decrease,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because as it goes, it's gonna. If you don't get in early, obviously it's going to change
Mm-hmm.
because they don't need to pay as much as their coin
Oh.
becomes more valuable, and
Mm-hmm.
their coin has become a heck of a lot more valuable.
Right. 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 Okay. 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 So it's basically a coin. A lot of people might want to think of. So what's the difference in the coin and the crypto?
Well, actually, it's a token to be more precise. The difference
Mm-hmm.
between a coin and a token is whether you have your own infrastructure of blockchain, your own blockchain.
Right.
And now with Medium, and this is why it was a game changer. And we're making this short, but put it this way: Medium is the fastest blockchain in the world
Oh.
by
Okay.
far.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if anyone understands artificial intelligence, which is going to absorb everything a part of our lives, and they realize all these people launched in the metaverse, they realize all the transactions. To put it this way, Ethereum does more transactions than Visa and Mastercard.
Wow.
So when you realize that blockchain is extremely important part of that, that you have the fastest blockchain in the world, you're a big player. And when
Oh yes.
blockchain,
Mm-hmm.
when Medium acquired Coke, converting that business plan into this, they can make everything happen. And so
Mm-hmm.
that just changed the ball game. So now because they have their own blockchain, they can go ahead and create their own coin, and that's what they're doing at present. So all these things they do when they create the
Mm-hmm.
coin, it'll obviously boost the value up. I can't promise that, but seems
Sure.
rational. Every
Mm-hmm.
time they go on to a new trading platform, which they're on tons of them right now, even main players, the major
Mm-hmm.
players, it increases the value. They're going to be on NASDAQ soon. That's going to be a huge
Wow.
increase in
Wow.
value.
Wow.
And you don't find crypto going on NASDAQ. So it's not a crypto.
Mm.
It's an entire infrastructure. It's a company that happens to have crypto. And the crypto is the way one of the investments is made because they want to get people to spend
Ah.
money in their system. They want their coin value to go up. Most
Mm-hmm.
importantly, they want transactions. And you look at most coins, and you can't shop anywhere with them.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
changing now. It's
Mm-hmm.
changing. But even Bitcoin took a long time to really get themselves immersed in the market
Mm-hmm.
and have utilization. And utilization is the key difference on value. And we're going to
Mm-hmm.
see more and more people making tokens and coins. But with Coke, yeah, I love their infrastructure. I love their plan. Their plan makes people money. You're going to get constant commissions forever for simply using their system. And how is that done? And why do they do this?
Right.
Well, you and I have started business before. I've done financing. When people are starting up companies, I had tons of companies willing to give up 50% of their profits forever
Mm.
just to have their business funded.
Right.
And then if you've ever understood advertising, you're always spending 35% at least sometimes, especially more in the initial phases of your
Right.
business
Mm-hmm.
to get going. So if you can actually reward your clientele for and incentivize them to do things, to go into the metaverse, to play a game, to do
Mm-hmm.
all these activities in which they do incentivize, you're going to create more production and you're going
Right.
to create more loyal consumers. They're going to want to use more of your product. So I think it's a brilliant business plan personally, but you'd have to really delve into it. They've got a white paper, they've got all the
Mm-hmm.
business plans and so forth.
Interesting. It's a very interesting concept. There's quite a few. There are quite a few on there in the world right now. But I wanted specifically to find out a little bit about this because you intrigued me when you said 7% a month, 6% a month, even 5% a month. I mean, people
Yeah.
will be happy to get that a year sometimes, even a month.
Yeah, it's phenomenal return, which is what makes people think it's a scam. As a matter of fact, people immediately said it was a scam. The funny
Mm-hmm.
thing is it started out at 12% way back a year.
Wow.
It's like a year and a half old, and it
Mm-hmm.
was started at 12%, and it's grown now. And so all those people that said it was a scam with 7%, well, you no longer get 7%, so
Right.
you
Right.
get 4%.
Get 4%.
So so maybe it won't be as big of a scam to you now. But I put in $10,000 because I didn't put,
Mm-hmm.
I want a little bit of here, maybe a little gold, a little
Right.
silver, a little
No.
crypto, a little kinds of it.
Diversified.
Because I
Yeah.
have some long term holds with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And so, put in just 10,000. But to be frank, off of $10,000, and it really didn't hit till February, I've made $80,000 in this amount of time, 80,000 profit, and
In about
that's amazing.
in less than a year, you
That's
say?
fantastic for a $10,000 investment.
In less than a year, you say?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So what?
yeah.
But really, it started right around February 2nd. So if you think about
Mm-hmm.
that, that's what,
Mm-hmm.
November, or now December 2nd. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And the good thing about it, I mean, like you said, people don't have, if you don't have 10 grand laying on the side there, 300, 400, 500, just to get your toe wet.
Sure, sure. Yeah, the reason it's funny, the reason some people got into it is they send money to the relatives. That's
Right.
what the person who
Yes.
referred
Mm-hmm.
me to. And when you, especially if you're an immigrant, and I know you are, and a lot of my
Mm-hmm.
friends are, I'm married to an
Mm-hmm.
immigrant, and
Right.
I'm used to having people have to send money home and so forth. So now they can actually set up an account for those people. They can send money to them every month, but it's actually profit. It's not their own
Right.
money; it's profit.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
put it in 10,000 account, and $400 a month sent to those people every single month, and you still got your money. Plus, you actually get a return on that on top of that. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's the increase in coin value if you keep the coin, which luckily we did, and we've made tons of money just because of that.
Great,
So
great, 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 man. Wow, wow,
yeah,
wow. So
yeah.
who
When
did you
we
say?
bought in, it was
Mm-hmm.
27 cents. It's now over $5. So yeah.
$5. And that's in about what, 8 months?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
again, that wasn't the reason I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But after I got into it, everybody's cashing in their money every month. And I just thought about it. I'm like, do I believe in this business plan? And do I
Mm-hmm.
think they're going to make it? And so I held on. And as soon as Medium bought them out or acquired them, correct, better terminology, well, then I 100% kept my money in. I had actually restaked a couple thousand, which means take my profit and put it back in to make
Right.
additional money off that. Did about $2,500 of that. But besides that, again, all profit. All profit. I restaked my profit, made money off my profit, and still have coins sitting around worth $80,000. That's
Right.
nice.
Mm-hmm. I
That's
think you
nice.
mentioned to me also that it was for it was, yeah, they guaranteed for what, about 2 years, or is it longer than that?
Well, yeah, yeah. They're not going to give you a return forever.
Right.
That
Right.
would be a scam.
I
you
know.
know, the things you look for in a scam is, do they have something behind it? Meaning, can someone be sued? Medium didn't acquire them as a scam. They would shut it down and change it immediately if it was a scam. Medium's a
Right.
big, and Medium has customers like Microsoft. They got big players that run
Right.
metaverse through their software,
Mm-hmm.
so they're not going to have a scam around. But either way, if they paid you for eternity in that, yeah, it would be a scam for sure. They don't guarantee you 2 years, by the way.
Right.
They guarantee that the maximum that you'll get is 28.5 months of that interest on that money. And at that point, you can take it out, or you can go ahead and add to it.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
the beauty and the bad thing of it is, well, another way it's not a scam is, what you don't want to do is put money in and have it locked away for 2 years, because that's something to be worried about. So you
Right.
put your money in, you can take it out. You can
Mm-hmm.
take it out, no problem. The problem is they can also end the program, change their interest rate, or just say, we're no longer giving
Yeah.
you money. So
Yeah.
at that point, you take your money and you go, and that's fine. It's like they just lowered my interest from 7 to 4. Am I leaving? No, I'm still happy with 4%
Sure. A
per
month.
month.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to really tell them, but I'd still take 2% per month. So yeah,
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
not going to
indeed.
broadcast that to
Exactly.
them, but
Exactly. Exactly. So do you have a position with them right now in your infrastructure? Do you have a position with them with Coke?
I mean, do I work for the company?
Yeah.
No, no.
Okay. Oh no.
I don't work for the company. I didn't even realize that a local corporate headquarters. I just went to it a few months ago
Mm-hmm.
and learned more about it, met some people. But no, I don't have a position with the company. I
Mm-hmm.
still do my own business. This is not
Right.
my business. It's a
Right.
passive income.
Exactly.
But everybody wants you to send something. They don't know how to read it. They don't want to talk about it. It's important to be able to explain things to people and tell them about the opportunity.
Right. Exactly. So that's basically
So
what you do. Right. You just
yeah,
basically
this is a
sharing
great way to do it.
you just sharing the opportunity, which you think is good, and it's everybody make their own investment, their own decisions.
Well, yeah, because there's some people that go ahead, like my mother-in-law got into it and she was scared. She's
Mhm.
from Indonesia, and she's worried that it was gonna be a scam because somebody did a scam once like this.
Mhm.
So she put in, I think, something like $4,000 or whatever. So she
Mm-hmm.
had doubled her money in just like 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
and which she wasn't supposed to get that. So she still didn't trust it. So she just wanted to know she could take it out. So we took out her full investment,
Right.
not out of the stake, but out of the profit.
Right.
And we took that out, and just to see the glow and the smile in her eyes,
Mm-hmm.
just to see that it actually happened. She got her money. She just wanted her cash to know she could take it out. Then she got excited. She started wearing the hat and started talking to people about it. And but by cashing it in, though, she missed out on the huge 40% increase in value.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Right.
over this
Yeah.
last month, I've been trying to push all of a sudden this last month, referring people on purpose, because I
Right.
knew it was going to hit numbers, and
Right.
it did.
Right.
It just in the past month and a half, it went from $3 to $5. That's a big jump.
That's a big jump, yeah. Yeah. But what I like, what intrigued me the most was that monthly. Because several years ago when I was in Atlanta, well, not involved, but I ventured into a lot of little schemes that were paying 1 and 3.5% every month on your money, and then what would happen to these things? They would start off well. I'd see it in my account, and all of a sudden, in 90 days or 6 months, they just disappeared.
With your money, or just the profit
They
disappeared?
disappeared. Period.
Yeah,
Disappeared.
yeah.
Period. I mean, we didn't put a lot of money. Probably put 1,000 in or $1,500 in, but just the fact that there was a plethora of companies doing that, paying you three and a half. It was actually a daily amount, like 1.5% per day. I don't know if you
Well,
remember
this
that.
Coke plays you daily too, by the way.
Right.
But
Okay.
there's cryptos. Ethereum will pay you a stake return,
Mm-hmm.
just nothing close to this one. There's
Right.
actually a stake return that's tons more than ours.
Mm-hmm.
But when people say, "Why don't you stake for the one that's more?" and then I'm like, "Well, some people think this is a scam. Now you want me to go ahead and invest in one that pays me 1,000% return?"
No. No. Mm-mm.
Well, I think, and then there's a lot of people that think crypto in general is a scam. I'm like, well, any currency could be a scam, because
Mm-hmm.
perception is the only real value.
Right. Right.
There is no limited supply of gold. They're constantly mining new gold. Gold, there's
All the
all
time.
different type. And if people just decide that gold doesn't have value, then it doesn't have value.
Right.
So I do worry about a lot of crypto market. I think there's tons of cryptos being made with nothing behind them,
Mm-hmm.
launching after success overnight. There's some actually creating infrastructures,
Mm-hmm.
like Ethereum
Right.
has a huge infrastructure. Bitcoin obviously has an infrastructure. There's several that are coming out to have infrastructures, and Coke has an infrastructure. So I decided, if I'm going to invest, I want to invest in the business, not the coin.
Not the coin. Right.
So
Makes a
I'm
lot of
investing
sense.
in the business. The
Mm-hmm.
coin just happened to be how they paid me
Right.
and the way I got my better return from. And so, but yeah, I got in for the return. I stayed in for and I really got, wealthy. Well, not wealthy. I made wealthy from the 10,000 investment,
Right.
meaning,
Sure.
because I kept the coin. So,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
yeah.
Well, man, this has been wow. You filled my brain a little bit more than you always do. So I'm glad you were able to come on and share the experience. And anyone who's thinking about it, uh, if they listen to this presentation, then it has everything. You give all the facts, all the information. It's not a scam. It never will be. But you're investing in the business model, not the coin. You're just in the business, because it's a good business model, right?
Yeah, and we can't guarantee returns, and I can't. And you could never tell somebody that the whole business couldn't go under.
Right. Oh no, no,
You can say that
exactly.
with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Bitcoin went down to, from
Up and down.
15,000 down to
Yeah,
nothing. Yeah. So you can't promise anybody the world, but even if the coin went down in value, I'm still getting my guaranteed money per month.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So
You know?
yeah, so I like that. And again, Medium Coke is a company you can sue. It's a
Hmm.
company with assets. When you own the biggest blockchain in the world, they're not going to want to destroy their reputation, because right
Right.
now there is not a better company to be, not better industry to have blockchain than this today and age with AI. So
That's
it's a
true.
big
That
deal.
is true. Yeah.
So, but I appreciate your time and the opportunity.
Mark, it's always a pleasure talking to you. We've known each other for quite a while, and we always have interesting conversations. And this one is nothing less than that. So thank you so much for coming on in the think tank. I'm going to share the information so that people know that there are alternatives, especially immigrants. People who send
Especially,
money.
especially people that
Yes,
only have 300. You would think about the people out there that only have $300 to $500, and they think, "What's
yes.
the point? I can't do anything with it." You
No.
can make 4% per month on
Yes.
$300.
Yes. For
I mean, you could.
28.5 months, you know?
Yeah, and it sounds silly to say, "Oh my God, oh, I only make $300." That's doubling your money in less than a year.
Yeah.
It sure, and then if the coin is worth more, even more. But yeah, it's a fantastic return and it's a great way to get young people started and
Yes.
paying attention to an
Mhm.
investment.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right. Well, thanks again, my friend.
Man,
Great
thank you
talking with
so
you.
much. We'll talk soon and have a great, happy holidays.
You too. You as well.
Okay. Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.